What's going on, guys? Dash here to give you a Cagliari Juve pregame info dump because it is just me. Dave is out for the rest of the week, so a little bit of housekeeping. We will not be doing a watch along for the match tomorrow just due to our schedules and Dave not being around to do it, and also it's a 12 o'clock match. Sorry, guys. Unfortunately, it's busy season, so with the holidays coming up, everybody's doing stuff, and unfortunately, the family business gets busy, and your boys got to watch it. So on that note, let's kick this off, right? Let's do it. So this Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be playing Calgary. Damn it, I said Calgary. It's Cagliari. Dave would probably facepalm on that one. But this match is going to be kind of decisive in a sense because the match after that is going to be the match against Inter, which kind of, makes it a little bit of a super showdown post-international break. So with Juve in the position that they are, they need to maximize on the maximum of 3 points. However, the issue is Cagliari is actually in quite a bit of form. If you want to take a quick peek at the stats here. So, looking at the numbers here, Cagliari have beaten Genoa 2-1. They've beaten Udinese 2-1 as well, beating Frosinone 4-3, which that was kind of a thriller. If you watch that game, definitely some good stuff. 2-2 tie against Ochoa Salernitana, and then a 4-1 win over Carbonia, and I believe that was a Coppa Italia match. But their most recent match against Genoa. So right now, they're undefeated in 5 games, kind of similar to when we came into it with Lecce. The only difference between Lecce and Cagliari is we're not kind of in an embarrassing loss after Sassuolo. This is more so we beat Fiorentina playing shithouse ball or Allegri ball, for those keeping track at home. So the lineups right now from what we've projected and what FOTMob has projected, which I don't find quite accurate because I believe Allegri said some things that might perplex you folks. But so looking at it, we've got Tech starting in the back. We have Bremer, Rugani, and Gatti, which I've been hearing that Dean Huijsen, the Dini boy, might be getting his first start. So that's why I'm a little bit kind of subjective to this a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, it's still a good front three because they, shut out Fiorentina and, 6 clean sheets. Just saying. Followed by a nice surprise of Illing Jr. I still think Kostic will probably get the nod here. I'd be shocked if Kostic didn't and we saw Illing. Big Mac in the middle with Locatelli and Moretti, and for all those keeping record at home, Rabiot was suspended because he took a tactical foul in Fiorentina, so he wouldn't miss the Inter game. One of the reasons why I believe Dean Huijsen might start over Gatti, and don't hate me, Gatti stands, but Gatti, if Gatti were to get a yellow card this match, he would be out the Inter match. So if anything, I think he will be sat. With all due respect, it is Cagliari. It's not really decisive to have your best back three. But give Dean his minutes. And looking at your forwards, I don't think Dusan is starting. I believe Chiesa is going to get the nod over Dusan here, but I know Keane is a lock. And shout out to Keane getting called up to the Italy international team again this window. So hopefully he does well there. And then you have Andrea Patagna, good old Lumberto, and then Viola as their main front attacking options with Mako Dabo and Parati, and Jankto is their middle of the pitch with their back line of Zappa. And then tongue twister. Godinha, and then you have Josenia and Argello with Scruffet. I'm just going to call him Scruffet because why not? As their goalkeeper. So looking at the numbers here, so obviously our best player, ironically, is still Dusan with 4 goals in Serie A with 1 assist, followed by Lumberto, which is their leading offensive line player. So now looking at it from the insights, Juve are ranked 7th in goals scored per match, have kept the most clean sheets in the competition with 8. And Filip Kostic is number 1 in chances created. As crazy as that sounds, that is it. And then Cagliari is ranked 14th in goals scored per match. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 9 matches, and haven't lost in 5. So they're in a bit of form, just kind of how like Lecce was when they came into the Allianz as well. So definitely a lot to play for here. I think it's going to be crucial just to set up that showdown with Inter. Obviously, tactically, they're running a 4-3-1-2. In sense, we're doing a 3-5-2, obviously, but nonetheless, when it comes to quality and talent, we obviously edge them. Right now, they're currently in a relegation battle with Udinese, Hellas Verona, and Sassuolo, of all teams, ironically. But I don't really have much because it's Claudio Ranieri ball, and they call him the Tinkerman for a reason, right? So let's mess around with the tactical board and see if we can find some stuff. So I'm gonna go in with just markers. This case instead of actual actual pieces on the board. More so because Ranieri's kind of hard to predict. He's kind of one of those coaches that kind of throw stuff. But from what I'm looking and what I'm thinking, obviously, I think if he starts Kostic on the left, Allegri's going to have essentially the left be kind of a little bit more of a defensive / cross oriented flank. Whereas with the projections of Cambiaso being here on the right, you're going to see McKennie and Cambiaso. Essentially, what I like to do these zigzags is essentially an interchange between the two. So they're inverting with each other on the wing. So Cambiaso will play in the middle, McKennie will play out wide. They'll kind of zigzag between each other from an offensive standpoint. So just slap these here for right now. We'll have McKennie up here, and then we'll do this there. The only other thing I'm thinking of is if, and this is just a big if that's Illing, and then you have McKennie move over to the left to cover Rabiot's position, and then you'll have Cambiaso and Moretti interchange with each other in the middle of the pitch, and you have McKennie and Illing zigzag. The idea, what I think Allegri's trying to do here is he's trying to create zigzag by wing plays. So when you're doing that, essentially you're inverting, or as Misak would say, the inverting. So when you're inverting here, you're essentially keeping Cagliari's defense a little bit on edge because you're coming in at an angle and they're not really sure who's switching and who's moving out. The one thing that really helps with that is if you have Keane and Chiesa, because they're both very mobile strikers, they're going to be able to interchange and essentially participate in the attack. So you'll have a triangle on both ends because of it. Move that out of the way. So you'll be seeing triangles and moving around up that sense in the attacking area. And then depending on where Locatelli wants to play as the director, he can pivot and adjust the play there. So this one has the recipes of being a more free-flowing game than the Fiorentina one was. I don't know. I can't guarantee things like that, but just looking at how the squads are lined up, definitely strikes me that. So that's pretty much kind of the board aspect of it. So we can talk some just brief news and see certain things that's going on in the world right now and some certain links. Alrighty, bringing it back. We'll talk some stuff here, some rumors and some speculation. So there's not really much that I could find on the presser that Allegri did, but a couple of tidbits is Locatelli is going to be the captain tomorrow. So Captain Locatelli for all you Locatelli stands out there. The other thing was about Szczesny versus Perin. He said Szczesny will play tomorrow. It will be a difficult year for Perin. That's interesting. The other thing is, so might actually be wrong on this. I think Allegri's just playing shenanigans, but Huijsen, Gatti will start tomorrow because it's the most important game. I highly doubt that, especially with him being on a yellow card. It's just kind of poor future sight on the coach's standpoint there. So I really doubt it. And if not, Gatti will start the first 45 minutes, be told to be careful what he does, and then get subbed out. I don't see Gatti going a full 90. And then the other thing is for the Alexandro lovers of the world, good news is that Alexandro will return after the break against Inter. And then in regards to Danilo might not be available against Inter. So for all the folks that hate Danilo, there you go. There's your moment. And the other thing right now is who replaces Rabiot. We've got many choices like Moretti, Locatelli, Nicolosi, McKennie, and Nonge. I believe it's going to be McKennie. And that's pretty much it. As far as what Allegri said, some other things to look at is Calvin Phillips coming to Juve. That's looking like it's starting to pick up some steam. Gentili, his folks, representatives were in Manchester, or I believe London, and they were talking with the representatives of Phillips. From my thought, I think it's going to be a 6-month dry loan. I don't see Man City letting go one of the assets that they paid a lot of money for dirt cheap, especially since he's on a 9 million a season euro salary. I think it's going to be a dry loan if it does happen with Juve not paying the most of it, but City paying the brunt of it. as well as some other players that Juve are allegedly looking into. Giuntoli is looking at 2 Bayern Leverkusen players, and the 2 in particular are Boniface, which has absolutely been tearing it up lately in the Bundesliga, and the other player is Florian Wirtz. That's another player that they're looking for as well. So both of them, high demand, going to be a lot of money. I very, very doubt that we will make a move for them just because of their price tags. It's a little bit of fantasy football. The other name as well, and some people will probably be pissed, and I'm all here for it, but Alvaro Morata, who has absolutely been lighting it up in the terror ball that is called Simeone ball. Juve looking tabs on him. I believe that he is allegedly renewing with Atletico, but I don't know. Juve might potentially look at him. But the main thing before we get, and I know we're being tied to forwards instead of midfielders because we need midfielders. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you guys. There's not going to be a single striker or any kind of forward player being brought into the squad until Dusan gets sold, if he gets sold, or he magically, returns to his glory days. Juve are making attempts to negotiate with Dusan to reduce the salary to spread the cost, but the guy's like, nah, you're not taking my money. Sorry, guys. So if there isn't a restructuring in Dusan's deal and he doesn't perform, I can probably expect Juve to move him for a loss in the summer. I hate talking about him. I don't know why. It's just there's always something on him. The other thing as well is Juve are looking at Mario Hermoso to replace Alexandro in the summer, and then Juve continue to hold talks for Højbjerg and some contract renewals. Locatelli confirmed 2028. Nicola Fagioli, I am not a big fan of this, to be honest with you, but he got extended with a salary bump, mind you, until 2028. So goes to show, guys, you can do a shitty thing at your job and break the law or break the rules, and you get promoted and a raise. Just me being petty. The other player right now that it's in line to get another to get a potential extension is Weston McKennie. I know the verdict's still out on him. A lot of mixed emotions, right? A lot of people are saying if he's starting as a right wing back, give him the money instead of him being an integral piece of the midfield. Guys, I think we need to understand that tactically, the right wingback position is essentially what the right mid position was in the old days. So, McKennie is a right wingback. Like, guys, that's pretty much a right mid in a sense, tactically, where you're going up to offer support, you're coming back down to offer defense. So it's like not McKennie playing out of position. And also, I think having his versatility is kind of important, especially when when you're challenging. You need players to plug and play for injuries, and McKennie is the definition of the best plug and play player. His game's improved. Yeah, he's not technically the greatest. I'm not expecting him to be the technical genius, masterclass, whatever. So, look, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth diving into that. Giving the kid an extension. He's still young. I don't see the issue with it. If he continues to ball out, and you give it to him. So let's run it with there. Other than that, I think that pretty much wraps everything up here. So remember, thanks for watching. If you guys haven't seen it yet, podcast 232. That is essentially the supercast because we had Rev from Juventus News Live and then you have Chris from Inconvenient Truth, both hopping in. I was in on the second half of the show with Chris, but it's a super duper podcast, 2 hours worth of content. You guys will enjoy it. And then remember, guys, like the video, send it to your friends, share it, do all the fun jazz. And then Pro Clubs this Saturday. I know the boys are getting together to do that. We are the top 5% of Pro Clubs teams in the world. So really good, fun thing to get together with some of the listeners, the viewers, Dave or myself. But again, Dave's out this week, so I'll be on Pro Clubs this weekend. So you can play with us, have some shenanigans, make fun of certain passes by certain players. But on that note, guys, I will see you on the post-match call-in show. I will do one Saturday evening. I will not be able to do the watch-along, so I'll do an evening call-in where you guys can come on. We'll shoot the shit and just go from there. But anyways, guys, we'll catch you in on the next one. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.